Welcome to the Rainbow Gateway Oracle. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, all Virgo placements. Thank you for coming to the channel. I'm really excited to bring to you today the Soul Train reading, Virgo. And I'm a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist, as well as an astrologer, and I've been claircognizant my whole life, and that's really strong within me, but I do have other sensory abilities. Thank you for coming, and I have the Guiding Light Tarot or Oracle to start. Financial freedom. You may be feeling trapped in regards to the amount of money that is currently flowing into your life. I feel like that's the tail end of it, like the tail end of feeling trapped. I feel like you're coming out of that experience. Freedom of soul expression. You may be holding back from expressing yourself out of fear of losing or upsetting someone around you. Yeah, so it's likely you have criticizing people around you, and so there's a subconscious fear of authentic self-expression because they try to deflate you and put you down. So that could be holding you back financially, because it's like not really being able to stand up for yourself. But I feel like this is teaching you to do that. I'm getting a sense of walking on eggshells. You may walk on eggshells around someone because when you're being genuine and authentic and happy and content, they have a problem with it because they're miserable and you're not. And that's coming through very strongly here. So when we kind of get tangled up in relationships like that, it can be very difficult to discern between giving and receiving, coming and going. It's like a little bit of a seesaw. So it's like one step forward, 3 steps back, kind of thing. That's the energy I'm getting. I feel like every time you've been held back, though, there's something that you're seeing differently that's opening up for you. So it's at the same time, it's it feels like you're grinding the gears a lot, but then you're still getting the grease and the forward momentum. But there's a learning curve, I guess you could say. There's something coming through about, manual transmission. Not knowing how to drive a manual transmission and shift the clutch and everything like that. So there's a bit of a learning process so that it's necessary. That's what wants to come through. It's a necessary process, which is ultimately empowering. But it's becoming empowered through disempowerment, which is, you know, having that contrast. It's like to know one, how do you know one without knowing the other, and vice versa. I feel like you're about to really step up fully into your divine masculine energy here. Like, this was a wound that's been healed. I'm seeing this as kind of like a fresh wound, and then this is like there's this process of cauterization in your life that you had to move through, whatever experience, you know, that you were having that felt, you know, confining, cocooning, if you will. Like, this is like, having to gestate, but through a death process. Like, it's like becoming fertilizer. Becoming fertilizer is like a process, and it's also very rich. It's organic, it's earthy, it's like having to dive like that deeply into yourself, like having to really dive, but so that you could come back more beneficial to life because of what was learned within that process, is now able to really nourish the next like manifestation. We have the Strength card here. Yeah, it's like coming out like extremely renewed, like Five of Wands. It's like no longer having inner conflict. Like, you've found peace within, so you're not warring with yourself anymore, but you were for a long time, like really at odds with yourself is what I'm getting. But it's like now it's like you feel so strong in yourself, like you really stepped strongly into just like really being you without feeling like you have to shrink or hide or anything like that. It's like, here I am, this is me, and I'm a star in a way, in a sense, you know, just like not needing to hide. Yeah, like there's no more of this mental anguish. there was just a real negative, dark past here. Really, you know, just full of revenge and envy and hatred, and, you know, just like a really black sort of cloud was hanging over, you know, this individual's head for a long time. But this is the thing it's finally being released. It's like you've really worked through a lot of really dark places and have come out with a real sense of higher wisdom and uniqueness too, from having your own perspective after, you know, having gone through something like this in your life. Like, not everybody has such a you know, it was just like a really gnarly death process that you went through in your life. And that's all I'm gonna say. Like, you know, it's been brutal, and you've really triumphed in it. You worked really hard, and don't let anybody bother you anymore. You don't allow your thoughts to get to you. You don't let people get to you. You have a real awakened sense of yourself now, and there's a time when words just fall by themselves, and the duende has a story that wants to be seen in this book. And this is the Archeo deck. And decks are so fun to play with, to pull all the different messages. The duende is a spirit of the deepest creativity, a silent sound, a struggle that surges up from the soles of our feet. It is of blood, ancient culture, and action, and it calls us out. Without it, our artistic works will be tepid and superficial, yet with it, our nerve endings become exposed and raw. Creativity is going to be at an all-time high for you if this reading is resonating so far. This process, this hell that you went through essentially, in order to be able to stand as tall as you are at this point in time, is definitely going to pay off. And you know exactly where you're supposed to be going, but you just haven't quite stepped onto that yet. And that's what this thing is. It's like the final process where the decomposition is morphing into, you know, nutrient-dense soil. You know, on an energetic and soul level, like, that's like essentially energetically, cyclically, it's like right now is the time to plant something. Almost. Not quite. It's almost time to be planting the seeds. May is coming out here. So you may have been under this process since May. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. You need to defend yourself. Yeah, you have to stand up for yourself. And that's what this process has been teaching you. Don't let other people give you less than what you deserve in life. And everyone deserves love, and that's the way you should be treated with love. And if you're not being treated with love, then there are other places to go that will treat you with love. And that's life. Dark woman, dealings or relationships with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So, you know, this is a person in your life, and standing up to them is important. You must do it. And breathe deeply, come from the heart. Just focus on the truth and what is, and that's it, you know. The facts of the matter, the truth of the situation. Speak your truth. You had to let some things go. It's still pinging you, what you had to say goodbye to. It still gives you a little bit of a ping, but it's healing. It's healing up. We have great happiness with the harp. So, you know, just give yourself time. I feel like it's just about over, like this hiccup, whatever it's been for you. Doing something risky, taking a chance. Yeah, you're ready to, you know, kind of get out of this, like, sense of feeling stuck. And a path with money is waiting for you to find it. So take that chance. Take that chance. If that's feeling, if you feel intuitively guided, take that chance. Don't worry about it. The universe, sometimes you have to jump and the universe gives you a net. And that's just the metaphor for life. And let's get another Starman. Like, you don't want to focus on the past and the things that were done to you, like the actual abuse acts that were done to you. It's like you've really had to release a lot of that, but it still comes up every now and then, and it's still got its hooks in you a little bit, but it's not anything to be afraid of or worry about. It's just part of the, like, where you are in your process. I feel like there's like just a little bit of a I feel like it's like you're going through and clearing all of this stuff from the past, and then you hit this pocket and it's like a bigger puncture, if you will, because it's like you're transforming it, clarifying it. It's like bringing clearer frequency through. But when it hits that trigger, when it hits that pocket, it's overwhelming. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's an energy here of self-abandonment, and it's like like really being done and over with this pattern, like really being done and over, strategist. This is the universe also, like this past experience, this woundedness, like the shadow, the ego, all this kind of stuff. It's all part of the universe's plan anyway, you know? It's like you have the game board and everything is part of the game in some kind of way, even if you don't understand, you know, the full scope of it or how to really move about the board in particular ways. It's like it's still part of the experience. It's supposed to be happening. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have ego. It's not a bad thing to see the ego. It's just all part of the universe. We have the healer here. It's like the healer and the demon. Like the demon comes to protect something that's more fragile. But then that fragility, that sense of vulnerability, that part of ourselves gets forgotten about, and the demon starts to come more frequently. And it's like the healer comes in to kind of like soften that. And it's like, you know, this doesn't have to show up really anymore. But it's not bad for you that you had it in the first place. I feel like this is what's happened here. There's been like a real transformation from, you know, some real toxic behaviors here, I feel like. And like you've done a lot of work here. Look, we have the Alchemist is the next card. Yeah, this has really been turning lead into gold in your life after the hands you were dealt and the kinds of shit that you had to do in order to survive that maybe you just aren't proud of, but you had to do what you had to do. And you found the key because you worked inside. You worked inside to balance this stuff out in yourself. That's the way you're showing up. Like this is a really amazing reading for you. I'm so glad to deliver this message to whoever this is for, because you've really done it in an amazing way for yourself. Like nobody probably gives you credit, but you deserve credit for what you've done for yourself. You've worked incredibly fucking hard and healed from things people don't even have an idea about in their head because they live in a whole different reality than you and they don't get it. But you've really stepped up in life, and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or says. You have the right to exist the way that you are in life, and you don't ever have to apologize for yourself. And you don't have to let people step on you. And that's what you've learned here, and definitely in a lot of other ways too. Yeah, it's like you're going to be finding yourself emotionally stable. Like you've really worked through a lot of stuff, and it's like this is going to start aligning, you know, your emotional self and your material, physical self, your day-to-day self, your I got to go to work self. Like they're going to work in harmony. Like you're going to be able to handle everything again. It can be really difficult to, you know, handle work and, you know, be in that part of ourselves when we have all this other stuff going on in the background of our life that's really painful and confusing. You're going to start feeling a lot better soon. That's what I'm getting here. You're going to start feeling a lot better soon after all this. Supernova. An aspect of your personality, ego self, must die to make way for a new shiny star to be born. Yeah, you really went through something that like took you down really dark, but you're on your way out. Like this is the tail end of it. And you're really remarkable, the work that you've done on yourself. And just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself and remember to just speak your truth and soften your words when you can. And life is going to really take you on a ride, but the best kind of ride you could possibly imagine. And we're getting another Starman here. We got the Prince of Wands and the Four of Swords. The more you stand up and speak your truth, the more peace of mind that you can have. And that's the thing that you just have to remember. You have to stand up and have to speak your truth. And in that is your creative potential. It's like that's how that wanders through your life experience, if you will. The energy becomes woven within your day-to-day life experiences. Midwife. We're talking about the time that it takes to birth a baby. And that's kind of where you're at right now. Like you're in the process of birthing a baby in some kind of sense. And, you know, this is like, could be an actual baby in your life, but I feel like this is more like the next version of you even. And you're giving birth to yourself once again through this transformation. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for being here. I'm the Rainbow Gateway Oracle. Future readings, we will do extendeds and we're going to get into romance and stuff like that. Stay tuned and see you later.